This is an Australian mango, whereas this is a big mango. One of over 1,000 big things spread across the country. Originally, these figures served as eye catchers, strategically placed on connecting roads to entice tourists to stop and buy something at the associated store. Later, the big things became an Australian landmark, and many of them are a tribute to the local environment. For example, this mango, as a symbol for mango cultivation in Australia. It gained some popularity in 2014 when it was stolen by a restaurant chain to advertise their mango smoothie products. This statue represents the endangered cassowary. The third largest bird in the world lives in the Australian rainforest and loves to feed on blue poisonous plums. It's characterized by its blue skin and also the horn on its head. At this big gumboot, it's all about the rain. This place claims to be the rainiest place in all of Australia, but the two neighboring villages don't quite agree. Nevertheless, the most rainfall in Australia's weather history was recorded here, 8 meters in 1950, which is pretty much the height of the boot itself. The mud crab or mangrove crab is really common in Australia and the Indian Ocean. This big crab advertises a fish and seafood restaurant. Crocodiles colonize the estuaries, making swimming impossible in many places. Lifeguards at beaches continuously check the ocean surface for them. These animals get almost as big as this big thing in front of a zoo. The platypus is a mammal, but has a beak and lays eggs. It lives in rivers and is found exclusively in Australia. Of course, it deserves its own big thing. Rockhampton calls itself the beef capital of Australia, with over 3 million cows grazing in the wider region. There are cow auctions, rodeos, and a set of 7 big bulls that realistically depict breeds common in this region, like Romagnola, Brahman, Santa Gertrudis, Broadmaster, and the Australian Bradford. And yes, parts of the statue get stolen sometimes. This big barrel of a local beverage company is actually a building. It serves as a visitor center. Whales are welcome visitors off the coast of Helway Bay. They return here every year to stay the winter in the warm waters until heading back to Antarctica. That's why there's this artful big humpback whale, which is actually more of a regular-sized whale. The whale's tail is currently diving 2 blocks away in this roundabout. Ned Kelly was an infamous outlaw and Australia's most wanted gang leader. His doing ended in a shootout after a train holdup, where his gang members wore self-made metal armor. They were overwhelmed by the police, and Ned Kelly later died by hanging, saying his famous last words, such as life. Today he's regarded as sort of a Robin Hood by some, and a thief and murderer by others. But anyways, here's Ned Kelly wearing his metal suit as a big thing. After all the animals so far, this one is of course a must. Matilda the big kangaroo was the mascot of the 1982 Commonwealth Games. This statue was built around a forklift truck and could therefore move. After the games, the big kangaroo stood at a water park for over 20 years, was then restored and sits at this petrol station ever since. The big prawn was due for demolition in 2009, to the delight of the local population who had already started a petition. A hardware store bought and renovated it for 250,000 euros. In the process, it also got a tail, which it previously lacked when it was on top of a service station. The big banana was one of the very first big things. It was built in 1964 as part of an amusement park that was created out of a banana plantation, and is still all about bananas today. Koalas are marsupials just like kangaroos and are unique to Australia. They solely feed on eucalyptus leaves, which contain very little energy. That's why they have to rest 18 to 20 hours a day.